mentioned in the Maggie podcast last week that I'm the biggest Arnold fan you know.
Correct.
Maybe to a weird default how
No, you're just
fanatic
you're
I
just
am.
a big Arnold fan.
I am. I think
And I thought I was a big Arnold fan. And I knew all that we were.
no, I do take it to an extreme, and I have my whole life. Minty can attest to that.
Should have heard what he was just saying in the bathroom.
Well, that's neither here nor there.
No, Cade is the biggest Arnold fan. I consider myself a very huge Arnold fan, but Cade definitely knows more than me.
My opinion is if you choose someone outside of your realm, whether it's a father figure, whether it's a personal mentor, if you're going to pick someone in the public persona to kind of guide your life, your philosophy, the guy has done it all. From a farm boy in Austria, there's not been a goal that this dude has set in his mind that he has not accomplished
Yeah.
and exceeded.
A true self-made guy from the
ultimate-
most humble of beginnings.
I love self-made guys.
And this guy was from a humble beginnings.
I love
Yeah.
self-made guys, but that's us. But this is the ultimate self-made man. Everything this guy has was
agree.
built on hard work and his own steam. And I think you're a fool if you don't look at people like that and read what they have to say, soak in. I have ever since I was a kid. I've just looked up to Arnold.
He's not a victim. He doesn't have disadvantages.
No
Everything
excuse.
he's done, he just fucking puts his head down, goes to work, and gets it done. I love stories like that.
And when he had an opportunity, he took advantage of it. I mean, he started off as a teenage bodybuilder. When he saw an opportunity to go to America, he jumped on it.
His eye was always on movies, and once he got movies, his eyes was,
I am Hercules.
it's a growth period.
Exactly. I am Hercules.
I am Hercules.
The
You should
guy,
be grateful to have me
the
in your
guy
chariot.
created his own opportunities. He didn't seize opportunities; he created those opportunities. And every step of the way, he is who he is because of the focus and the drive. And I love that.
Yeah.
And I wish I had more of that. And I think a lot of people that look up to people, they realize, you know what? I may not have exactly what that guy has, because who does?
Right.
But there's nothing wrong with setting a target on that guy's back and listening to every word he says. And yes, he might not be a perfect individual. Yes, he might not be a perfect politician or whatever. But every step of his career since I was a kid, whether it be movies, whether it be charitable things, I've always looked to this guy as the way you do shit.
Right.
And
Because he's done it.
Because he's done it, and he's done it brilliantly. So last week we did Maggie, and Tuttle mentioned that I was the biggest Arnold fan he could imagine. Well, there is a bigger Arnold fan out there. He runs the Arnold Fans website. His name's Randy Jennings. And I can bow down and say he is a bigger Arnold fan than me. This guy is, not only does he run the fan club, but he owns the largest collection of Arnold memorabilia.
Are you sure that doesn't sting just a little bit?
It does sting
to
a little
me?
bit. It hurts me a little bit to give these kudos to Randy, but he's earned it. As Cody will see, when my Arnold room is in full effect, it's impressive.
It is. It really is.
I love your figurine of Duke guarding the humidor.
I have several Dukes guarding my humidor. Earlier this year,
Duke or Dutch?
Dutch, sorry.
he tricked me. Dutch.
The IPA talking.
It's the IPA talking. But earlier this year, Randy auctioned off through the Arnold Fans a bunch of his. He had doubles of a lot of memorabilia. I got a Schwarzenegger humidor. Mincy, you saw it.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That he had commissioned for the After School All Stars, his charity. There's like 6 of them made
For after-school specials for kids who like cigars.
for kids who love cigars. And I also got a Christmas.
It's better than drugs, kids. Smoke a stogie.
And exercise.
Drink a glass of milk, do your knee bends, and have a cigar.
Hey, how many kids died of stogie smoking this year? None. But Randy Jennings is the ultimate fan. I put myself second, and I will take that title honorably, and I will do it. But he is in charge of the Arnold Radio News podcast. It is the only podcast. I don't know if it's a source of pride, but I don't listen to any podcasts.
Yeah.
So I always figured they couldn't accuse us of copying any podcast if I don't listen to any other one.
It's funny, I don't either. And there's a lot of people that I admire. I tried to listen to some of Bret Easton Ellis's, but I'm just not really too interested in listening to a podcast that isn't ours.
Actually, I listen to Comic Book Club out of New York.
Tuttle does quite a few.
A couple of Kevin Smith.
Well, the only podcast I listen to is the Arnold Radio News. It's run by the Arnold fans, Randy Jennings, and it's basically Arnold-centric news. Yeah. Whatever's going on in Arnold's life, whether it's Terminator, Genesis news, whether it's Maggie.
Yeah.
But it's literally whatever Arnold's up to that week, they cover. And it's for a guy like me who's...
And I'm starting to get on board because when you showed me that Nerdist podcast that they did, I just listened to the guy, Arnold. They interviewed Arnold
on Nerdist, yeah.
And I just listened to the man talk, and I was
That was a great interview with him.
I was like, man, it's awesome.
He did another great one with Tim Ferriss, the guy that does the 4-hour work week and the 4-hour body week.
Oh, really? Okay, I know who Tim Ferriss is.
It's a great interview, too. And what Arnold does is, with Nerdist and with Tim Ferriss, he brings them into his kitchen.
Yeah.
And he just sits with them and just shoots the shit. And it's pure Arnold.
Yeah. And that's what I loved
There's
about
cussing.
it. That's what I loved about it.
Arnold's a very blunt guy. It's very raw. It's very non-PC. He just shoots it to him straight, which is one of the things I love about Arnold. And one of the things I hope in my life that to the chagrin of my wife, I try not to have a filter when I talk to people. And that comes from Arnold. When you tell people things straight and you give it to them straight, a lot of times they're not used to hearing that. We live in such a PC world. Arnold is one of those dudes. It's just no bullshit.
Kind of reminds me of Sokka at Cats Fest.
Very much so.
I've got something that I want to say, or I've got something that I'm trying to find out. I'm going to ask the questions. I'm going to say what I want to say.
Well, Arnold's always been great at that, but he's really excelled in his 60s of just like, you know what? I'm here for a limited amount of time. I'm going to make the biggest impact I can, and sometimes you just got to tell it how it is. So I bought a bunch of stuff from the Arnold Fans Auction, and I started listening to the Arnold Radio News. I listen to the podcast when I'm mowing my grass, because I have about a 4 or 5 hour window there mowing where I can catch up on three. Unlike our 3 hour marathons, they do about a 1 hour show.
Like most
most of them are from
wimps. But I can catch up.
Fools.
In the summertime, I don't listen to it a lot in the fall when I'm not mowing because I don't have time. But when I go into mowing mode in the summer, I can catch up on a lot of their podcasts.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's all Arnold-centric stuff, his whole universe, and I catch up on a lot of things. The two hosts, the Gillinator, Ryan Gillen, and Brandon Crum, who I'm Facebook fans with.
Brandon Crum?
K-R-U-M.
Crum.
So let's say Crum. And I'm sure he'd
Crum laughs at your podcast.
He'd go along with that.
Crum laughs at your 45-minute podcast.
They started, once Randy passed the podcast on to them, they developed this thing called the quotation confrontation situation. It's a trivia. It's an old trivia quote game they do, where they get about 4 or 5 questions, Arnold quotes from movies, and they feed them off each other and see if they can guess it.
So I gotta say, I'd be pretty good at that too.
Damn straight.
So I'm mowing my grass, listening to this,
destroy.
and they're getting stumped. I'll throw one at you, Mincy. See if you get it. This is what you look like dead.
Raw deal.
There's no stopping us.
Raw deal when he
It was easy.
throws the guy down. He throws the
Stop
red
paying
thing.
Lemansky.
Stop paying Lemansky. This is what you look like dead.
Get in my way again and I'll kill you. I can go.
Cody,
I can do
Cody.
3 more lines on the back of it.
Cody.
Kiss my ass.
Cody,
Exactly.
Cody, I'm going to give you another one. This is getting better by the minute. Predator.
Fuck yeah. You can't stump us.
They got stumped.
Dude, those are easy.
Exactly.
I got all of them.
Those are fucking easy.
I
I thought
got
you were going
all
to throw
of-
something like really hard. I was like, uh-oh, this is what you look like dead. Stop paying Lemansky. Where do you know
Here's
that
the
cop
thing.
from? I just sent you 3 assholes in the alley.
With all due respect, because I love these guys, and it's the only I can't say with peace and love I love this podcast. But they're trying to think of the name of the gangster of Max in Raw Deal that was in that scene.
Max Keller.
And one of them looks it up on IMDb, played by
Robert Davey.
Robert Davey. Robert Davey had an interview on the Arnold fans
You could
a few
not.
weeks earlier.
I'm sorry, but you could not stump you or me on anything with.
Well, here's
radio.
where I'm going, Mitzi. Arnold Radio News. I love you. You're my favorite podcast. But I'm challenging you to the
Confrontation.
confrontation situation. You know where that comes from, don't you? Predator. When they annihilate the rebel base and he's like, Hawkins, call in this position situation. No. Something like that. I think he's like, Hawkins, call in the position situation. That would be the one that stumped me. So now I would look like an
Not if
asshole.
this is the name Hawkins.
Yeah. No, actually, it wouldn't stump you. You just can't say it.
So here's my friendly podcast throwdown. Arnold Radio News. I want to come on your show. If there's a week where the Gillinator, who kind of runs the ship as I do here, or Brandon Crum, if someone can't do it, I would love to sit in for an episode. I would love to challenge you guys to the quotation.
Hey, and
Confrontation
if the two
situation.
If the two of them want to go 2-on-2, you and I will beat anybody.
And I also want to throw this out there too. If there's ever an
Don't forget a 3-on-3.
If there's
because
ever an
there-
Arnold-
dude,
if there's
you
ever-
cannot stump us. I'm sorry.
Look, I know by throwing this out there, they're going to dig up some Hercules in New York shit.
Do it. Do it.
But I want to go head to head. I want to show my value. I want to show how much I know Arnold. So I challenge you guys. Invite me on. Let's do the quotation confrontation situation.
I will find a bootleg script of King Conan, and your ass will be
Like
dead.
quotes that haven't even happened yet.
haven't even happened yet.
That's kind of unfair.
It'd be like having a 7-shot six-shooter.
I'm telling you, we can do this, boys. So
I was in plenty of westerns.
I will-
7 brides for 6 brothers.
I'm caveating this with listen to the podcast. If you're an Arnold fan, it's a great podcast.
It is.
Listen to it. It's very similar to what we do
Drunken
here.
cowboy
Only
whiskey is-
they don't get drunk. They don't smoke stogies.
Hey, well, that'll give them an advantage.
I was about to say.
You and I are going to get drunk and be
Well, that's the
smoking
thing.
stogies.
Exactly.
You do have an advantage
these
because
two
you're
will
not going to be drinking.
These two will handicap themselves, get schnockered, and just destroy the quote.
Is that really a
competition.
handicap?
No.
Not for me.
They would actually be, you can come on the podcast, but you have to be sober.
Feed me
Oh.
learning juice.
Forget it. Speaking of learning juice, who's that for?
That was whoever was empty next. That's yours. So I'll just
Game
throw this out
over,
there.
man. Game over.
Randy Jennings and the Arnold fans are
I'll find out what a mayor does.
my favorite website, my favorite podcast. Listen to them. This is not a cheap throw out there. It's a great podcast.
Yeah.
If you love Arnold, it's the best one to go out there. But
And hook that dude up on Snapchat, too.
Huh?
Snapchat. Arnold's going crazy on Snapchat.
he's a big
right
Reddit
now.
guy too.
Yeah.
I got my hands full, man. Instagram, Facebook. I can't take it.
Stop paying Lemansky.
I can't do it anymore. This is what you're gonna look like dead. So hit us back. Let us know what you think of this. Get me on that show. Let me face you guys. Get some real competition.
You should
Ballsy
not.
competition.
You should not drink and bake.
You should not drink and do podcasts. So hit me up. Let's do this. And everybody else, go what? Listen to Arnold fans. Maybe they'll have me on.
All right, let
Let's
me
do a
hit.
tie-in. Let's bring our two worlds together.
Let me hit you up with some links. Go to our website, TuesdayNightCigarClub.com. Also, check us out on Facebook.
How are they going to ring the game buzzers when I break off both their thumbs?
If you don't go to our Facebook page, how about a couple of acres?
Love it.
Here's subtitle. Now plain title.
Now, plain Tuttle.